Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the G9ija TV News Review. Today we have about 4 different events that we want to talk about, and we will be kicking off with the first of the event, and this is about a story about a house help actually caught red-handed putting insecticide into our boss food. This is just something that, sometimes when you hear things like this, you will be thinking that whether this is a skit or something somebody just fabricated from somewhere, but it's really true. Now, I don't know the background to this story, but apparently this girl is a house help. That means that she lives with her family. This is the kind of thing that actually happens in Nigeria, where you have somebody that comes in, maybe probably the equivalent in the West would be like a chef, but they do much more, So there are quite a few things they do: help to wash the clothes, clean the house, you know, general, generally just doing house chores, and host of other things. If they've got children, they actually help to look after the children as well. So I'm in the dark pretty much as everybody else, because this girl was caught red-handed putting, like, let's just say, poison really inside the boss food. Now, when you hear things like this, I think there is more to the story than actually meets the eye. So we actually have a video that we're going to actually use, so everyone can see it, and then you can form your opinion. So let's get right on it.
Let me see that thing. Let me see the tea. Can we do that with Nanley one number one? Coolian. I'm going to Soronya. Can I do that?
Oh, mosquito.
Kiboya.
Mosquito medicine. Now you put on my food, make I eat.
Wow.
Make I eat die.
Ovungi on the Gawa put in 5 months last week again. No problem. No problem.
So, you can't really tell exactly what's the background to that story. What we're actually saying is just a video that was recorded by, I think, family members, but we don't know the actual context itself. The other thing I would just say is that, we might have people that lives in the same house, together, but we all really need to be very, very, very careful, because you just don't know what the other person is actually thinking. You just don't know. I mean, what could be so bad? What sort of, if they are actually maltreating her? I mean, just saying, like I said, I don't know what the context, don't know the background, but I think what you should be actually looking at is, if you actually find yourself in a place like that, I mean, for any of this household, can't they just leave? Simple. Anyway, well, we've got another story. I think this one is more about a former Arsenal footballer from Africa as well. A lot of the African football, not just African footballers, a lot of the footballers, what always happens is that they meet all these nice, lovely white girls, hang out with them, they marry them, then find out that those girls are not really, they are only good for displaying. They are not really wife materials. Then what happened? Then the British courts will show them once the woman basically has hooked them up, have 1 or 2 kids, set them up, and that's it. Not in all cases, but quite a few, honestly, quite a few. And this is one of their stories. I rebuilt my life after my wife took everything. Arsenal star Emmanuel Ibo. Now, The story actually says the former Arsenal defender Emmanuel has opened up on his life after losing nearly all his assets to his Oyibo ex-wife. Former Arsenal and Ivory Coast defender Emmanuel has disputed claims that he has slipped into poverty following his divorce. Paul Sports reported Iboe was amongst a number of high-profile footballers who lost huge sums of money after their divorce. In 2017, Iboe was involved in a legal battle with his ex-wife, Aurela, ultimately losing the case and ultimately forced to give up some of his assets. Iboe was later quoted by Sunday Mirror, where he described himself as poor and homeless, a publication which went viral and triggered widespread reaction. Um, he brushes off talks after being slapped with poverty tag. However, Iboe has suggested that it might have been misunderstood following the reports that followed subsequently after his divorce. When people say Emmanuel lost everything, it is not nice. The 40-year-old said, as reported by City Sports. Because I had a divorce case, they court said my wife won. They gave her all my properties, that's in the UK, my 2 houses, money, and the cars that I had in England. I wasn't worried about it because I expected that she was going to use it to take care of my children. When the court said that I was, well, when the court said that, I was very disappointed, to be honest. But the first time I was very down, but after that, I prayed and forget about all of that. Um, the divorce happened when he was trying to pick himself back up from a 1-year football ban after reportedly failing to pay a former agent. After that divorce case, I left and returned back to Africa. I have my own properties in Africa, and so I live with that. The former Ivory Coast International added. When I hear people say Emmanuel lost everything, I laugh. I have properties in Ghana. I have properties in my home country. I live very comfortably. I thank God. So when people keep talking and say Emmanuel doesn't have anything, he can't eat, doesn't have to say, doesn't have a place to say, it's not true. Now, this is the guy here, and this is when he actually got married. You see, the thing about it is this: is that he's not the only one that would have, you know, footballer from Africa that it happens to. This guy I mean, they pay them crazy amount of money. The truth is that they end up, these girls, they are like, I'll refer to as honey traps. They know that most black footballers will rather go with white girls. You know, they just like the fact that, you know, they will like them. So they sort of get to know them before they know it. And these guys foolishly, you know, what they do is that they don't secure their wealth. All they are after is, all they can see is a Igbo babe, and that's it. They've lost their head. All their asset, money, everything and all gone. He's one of them. I'm pretty sure that no matter what he has in those African countries he's actually talking about, those assets cannot be, probably maybe they will be like 10% of the total amount that he has in England. And guess what? It is still happening. You know, sometimes I just think that maybe they think with their balls rather than with their brain. You know, there's no, there's no ring fencing their wealth. All they know is that, oh, she loves me. Oh, I must be very important. I must be very great. This, and that's it. After they've been used, after a while, one small excuse, boom, they're out. They get rid of them. And the law in the United Kingdom most often favors, the women. Seriously. And that is what has happened here. Well, at least he said it's okay, still got something. So thank God for something. So the next story that we've got here is about, let's look at this one. Right. You see, Nigeria, it says that a man has been tied, because of the economic hardship. This man wanted to travel. He did not have enough money for transportation. So the driver now decided to do what? The driver now took him and tied him inside the boot like a luggage. Guys, I am not making this up. When I saw it, in fact, I smiled. I was a bit like, yeah, right. Lo and behold, I saw the picture. You know, it reminds me of back in the day of Shehu Shagari, when politicians used to say, "Oh, there's nothing like Nigerians are not eating out of those bin." You know what? I think that is beginning to happen. Maybe in other ways. When I saw this picture, it was there was nothing funny about it. It's very, very sad. And it's I see it as an indictment on every living Nigerian. If you say that you're a Nigerian, this picture I will show you now is an indictment on all of us. And for us to be in a nation, to be in existence at such a time as this in life, and this sort of thing is actually happening. Wow. Let's take a look at this. So it said Nigerian man tied to luggage in car boot over hike in transport fare. Somebody said Wahala. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Can you see that? This looked like somewhere in the north. Is this Photoshop? No, it's not Photoshop. Is it AI drawing? No, it is not AI. Can anybody believe this kind of thing can be happening? How is it possible that this sort of rubbish, this sort of nonsense, tied up inside the boot, he doesn't have enough money. Okay, we'll carry you like a luggage, and they tied him, as you can see. What sort of human beings are these that will allow such thing to happen to another fellow human being? You see, so he says this old man didn't have money to pay for his passenger car seats to take him where he wants to go. They collected the money and tied him in the back of the car, where things are tied with animals, as you can see. The bad teachers that put us in this trouble and disaster, he said, may Allah make them hear and see before the day of, well, I mean, just imagine that. How is this even possible? Yeah, well, let's put it this way. I've got some comments here. A comment here said the driver will cry when road safety catch him. Somebody else said this picture depicts the pitiable situation in which Tinubu calamitous economic policies have reduced this country and the citizen into. I do not agree that it's Tinubu that created the situation. Yes, he is taking over and all. But it did not start with him. It did not. And then somebody else says it said can only happen in the northern part of the country. Was amazed how humans are transported like animals on my stay there. This is so dehumanizing. I wonder the level one gets to allow himself to be transported like a commodity. If you check the amount he is to pay to sit inside the vehicle, won't be more than 500 naira. Poverty. Somebody said most likely this in the north. The rules that applies in the south and west doesn't apply in the north. But could somebody not have just, say, you know what? How much do you have, Baba? Let's add some money to it for you. Could somebody now? I do not begrudge this driver, but he could have at least have a bit of heart and say, okay, maybe bring, maybe it's not he himself is trying to survive. The situation in the country has made a lot of people to forget their humanity, to lose their compassion, their empathy. That all they think about is just myself. Some people will do things, they will lie their head to hell, create a narrative that doesn't exist because of one or two things they want to do. This is really sad. Very sad. So the next story that I want to talk about is now we're going to Osun State. And I think people should actually look at this story. It's about Governor Adeleke. It says the governor reduces work days for Osun civil servants. We had a similar thing like this in Lagos State. But let's read this first. Governor Ademola Adeleke has reduced the number of working days for civil servants in Osun State in a bid to reduce the cost of transportation. In a statement issued by his spokesperson, Olawale Rashid, on Tuesday, September 24, the governor also extended payments of palliative to civil servants by 2 months, pending the commencement of a new minimum wage in the state. According to the statement, civil servants in grade level 0 to 0110, I mean 01 to 10, will now be going to work for 3 days, while those in grade level 12 to 17 will be working for 4 days. It, however, excluded workers on essential duties, including medical personnel, security operatives, political office holders, and accounting officers. The statement read, in response to high transportation costs, Governor Ademola Adeleke has approved rescheduled working days for various categories of civil servants and an extension of palliatives for public servants for the next 2 months. The approval, which was contained in a circular from the Office of the Head of Service, was in pursuance of Governor Adeleke's commitment to the well-being of workers and a response to the present economic situation of the country. Now, look, I think let's see some of the response here first. Somebody said, anonymous, this one don't hold Osun State to ransom. Their wealth, it belongs to Odin State. They overtook the state's wealth for decades. No rich family in Nigeria is innocent. They got rich illegally by our state resources and political appointments. Then another one said, lazy policy. This sounds like sci-fi movie. Somebody else disagrees and said it's commendable. I mean, guys, what do you think? For me personally, I just actually believe that this is wrong. This is just so wrong on so many levels because number one, why when you tell the workers not to come to work 3 days in a week, we have 7 days, so 4 days they'll be doing what? Staying at home doing what? Can the government actually provide maybe a subsidized transportation, subsidize the transportation or public transport? If you want to do it for civil servants, subsidize, let them be able to show their ID so that when they actually get on buses and all that, then the government can pay for it. If truly you want, because we are supposed to get the nation working. They want people to be working. The affairs of the operations and affairs of state must be functional, must be seen to be working. When you ask people, come on, this is not a sound policy. Honestly, this is very disappointing. The same thing we had in Lagos State where they said that the civil servants shouldn't come to work for, is it like 3 months? We've got the metro, we've got BRT. Can they not be subsidized for workers to be going to work, to help to get people to work? Why tell them to stay at home and be doing what? It's not sound. What? Working from home? Our structures, our communication system structures, in fact, it's not, if you call most part of Nigeria right now, even if you're using WhatsApp that you've got Wi-Fi, you will see how badly those things, they're probably functioning at the capacity of maybe like about 30-40%. No, I think to His Excellency, it's not good enough. This is not good enough. It sounds very archaic. It sounds very, I don't know, like somebody just got out of bed and like they're thinking, okay, what can we do? So people will. Is this a political? Is this a way of asking people to vote for us for the next election or what? Because this is not good. This is not good at all. It's not. Yeah. The last but not the least. Oh, Actually, this was the last one. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's it from me tonight. We'll be here again tomorrow. I will be looking to see, bring some interesting topics, some events we can actually be talking about. If you're interested in American politics, we're going to be talking about that. Then I think we'll be talking about some of the issues that are happening in Europe, like, East West, Russia, Ukraine. I think most people just feel that, oh, well, it doesn't really affect, it does affect us. It does affect us because if what is happening there, if Ukraine managed to provoke Russia enough and cause Russia to use um, nuclear weapon, it will affect us. It will. It will. Anyway, once again, my name is Olatunde. Thank you very much, and looking to see you guys again tomorrow. Thank you very much for all your support. If there's anything you think that we should be talking about, or you have some ideas of how you think things are actually going, or some interesting stories you want us to talk about, we are more than happy to, because we can be able to do that on our main program, which is the Big Mic. So we're looking to have some people on board. I know we've been promising that this week, but I think we should be able to have this. Tomorrow is going to be quite interesting with the Big Mic. So thank you very much. See you tomorrow again for episode 8 for the G9ija News Review. So from me, it's good night and God bless. Thank you guys.